And hopefully it works. Okay, I think we are recording. So thanks guys for hopping on. And kind of want to just go through your week. If there were some major events or something happened in your business that you like to talk about, positive or negative, maybe we can kind of brainstorm with each other some more ideas and how other people are growing and what we're doing to keep getting some business going. So and then I'll let you take the reins there, Alyssa, tonight. Okay?
Okay.
That sound good? All right. Anybody want to start?
Oh, I will, and then I'm going to mute so we don't have any noise from this train. This is Diana. And I spent the week packing up the house and getting ready for the Kids Expo in Del Mar and San Diego this weekend. So, yeah, that was crazy. But everything arrived except my labels, and so I'm going to print out labels first thing in the morning when I get to San Diego, and hopefully the kids can help me stick them on before they go to school. I don't know. But we should have about 4,000 people through the Kids Expo. This is the third year that we've done it. So that should be fun. So I'm ready for making cakes next week and the week after. So that's my week.
Fantastic. Do you find making cakes really increase your PV or anything?
Not so much, no, but what happens, I do cross line, and so I just invite everybody, and we always talk oils, and out of almost every making cake that I've done, there's come 2 more business classes and 2 more just oil classes. So
fantastic.
That's where the money comes from, and I find that it's the cross line girls who sell my people on their oils. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, because they're not listening to me. So yeah. So other than that, I don't spend much time on making cakes. I throw it together and talk oils the whole time.
Great.
So that's all.
Perfect. Well, have fun and good luck with the expo. That sounds awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, it's usually pretty fun.
Good. Anybody else want to go?
I will go really quick. I have been working really hard with doing one-on-ones with all of the people from my vendor events that I've done recently. So I've been getting together and doing meetings, whether it's at Starbucks or at Panera. That seems to be the favorite these days. And just connecting with them one-on-one. I have sold a couple kits that way this month, and the people who have purchased kits from my vendors events, I've worked with them and done classes like one-on-ones with them. I've asked them to do host classes, and I have everybody that says they will host a class, but they haven't committed to a date. So I'm still trying to work with them on a date. And if you guys have any advice for maybe how to find a better way to secure these people, like committing to a class, because that's my biggest struggle. They do one-on-ones and it's great. I've gotten new ER signups this way, but I can't get them to like commit to hosting a class.
So when you ask them, would you be willing to host a class? How do you ask it?
I simply say, well, the last person that I worked with, I asked her, I was like, let me think of how I said it, because I'm trying to think. We just were at Panera's, and I said, I know that you're really interested in adding more products to your, adding more products to your, oh my word, the word is escaping my brain, your arsenal. You're adding more products to your arsenal, and you're also interested in getting another diffuser. I wanted to see if you wanted to host a class, and that'd be another way that you can earn some credit towards new products, or maybe even another diffuser for one of the rooms in your house. And she seemed really excited, because I know that she's really wanting an extra diffuser. So I was going to give her money towards a diffuser, or even her earn a diffuser depending on what happened with her class. And she was really excited about it. And she was like, yes. And she's like, let me go home. We looked at 3 dates of several different things. And she's like, let me plan a date and I will get back to you. And then it's like crickets.
So just a suggestion, instead of picking 3 dates that you could look at and get back to each other, I'm really busy and so are you. It's so much easier to change the date. So let's go ahead and get something down.
Awesome. Okay. I can do
Okay.
that.
So it
Yes.
just firms up the date before you even walk away from there. And then if she has to change the date, she has to call you again. You're not chasing her.
Oh, thank you. This
Okay.
is awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yep. So then it just becomes that cat and mouse, and it's her chess game versus yours. So it makes it a lot easier. The posturing is there. And then if she has to change the date, you're like, sure, I can change the date when works for you, you know. And so then you
Awesome.
change it to the next date, and you're not chasing her for that, pinning her
Okay.
down.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will definitely do that. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Gabrielle, do you have anything about your week?
Me?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't hear you say my name. So we just got done with the vendor event on Saturday. It was our first one of the year, and it went really well. So one of my girls and I are going through all the contacts this week and getting one-on-ones together and getting all that planned out. And then another one of my business girls is ready to start her first class. So I'm getting that all ready for her to do on Sunday. So, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. You finding the contacts are turning into, have you done the vendor events already, or you're just getting to? You said you're splitting up the contacts, right?
Yep. We've done vendor events before, but they've never been as successful as this one as far as like getting contacts and everything. And what I did differently was look through Kara Kozier's vendor event page. I don't know if anyone's a part of it, but it has a lot of useful tips in it.
Good.
So we applied those this time, and it's really helped.
Good. Good. Did you find one that was really, really good that you would just give us a nugget for tonight?
Say that again.
Which one do you think was the best that you really liked?
As far as like what we did at the vendor event?
Yeah.
We had, I wish I brought them down. I was actually looking for them. She has a contact form to fill out, and they check off everything they're interested in as far as like wellness, sleep, you know, all sorts of stuff like that. So then when we contact them, you know, we say, hey, we have a class coming up, and I see that you've been interested in learning more about this. So that's one of the things I really like about what was in there.
Fantastic. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that, because that's always a good tip to try to do for our classes too. So.
Yeah.
You know, it would be great to have a copy of that if you can share it. Is the flyer? Oh, that would be wonderful. I've been looking for different events. I've got 2 different ones, and I pick up one or the other depending on who's in front of me. So, yeah, that would be great. Thanks.
I'll post it in Diamond Destiny for everyone.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, I'll go, and then Alyssa can go, and she can just get started. Does that work, Alyssa?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So mine is just normal classes, really been working with downline. One of the things that I've really identified is, for me, you guys are looking at going silver, so it's the same type of process as I've really looked at my groups and have really honed in on the people underneath me that are looking at going senior star. So to go silver, you need 5 senior stars. For gold, you just add on another leg, right? So I've been looking at how many senior stars I can get in my business as quickly as possible. And so I've really worked on that, really focused on that, really talked to the people that are close to that level, and work daily about, like, how are you talking to people? How are you approaching people? How many people? I even challenged one person. I was like, there's 14 days left. I want to see if you can get 14 new names, 14 new people. I don't even care if they turn into a business builder or oils, but just meet 14 people, because this person was having a hard time just even meeting people. She's kind of shy, that kind of thing. So I kind of challenged her with that. So that's what my focus has been on, and it's actually really good. I've actually got a new executive in my business this month and possibly a new silver. So that has been a huge change in my focus, because I'm like, thinking about my business and how I can structure. And then Jill just kind of like brought it up to me. She's like, no, you have to have this many silvers and this many senior stars and that kind of thing in your business. So I don't have that. Like, I need to change my focus. And so when that focus changed, it's been a really fun month, just kind of trying to strategically work with certain people that have kind of come up. So, if you identify stars in your business, really identify those stars and help those people go to senior star this month. Just really, how are they building their business? How are they talking to people? Like Rachel's talk last week, how are they prospecting, cold market, that kind of thing. How are you guys doing that? Can I help you with your talk? Let's talk about how that conversation went, like Rachel's did. Let's change how you're getting that class, right? Because it's just one word or two words difference, and being able to really work with them. So that's been fun. That's been my month and my week.
That's good.
So yeah.
I had a vendor event on Saturday that was great initially. We were supposed to have thunderstorms, and I know the person that was facilitating it, and I was like, are we still doing this? Like, what's going on? Because it was like a harvest festival for a town. And she's like, yeah, we're still on rain or shine. So I prepped as best as I could, but it didn't matter. Like, there was tents flying. It was bad. It was really, really bad. Luckily, none of my tent got damaged, but my stuff didn't. Like, I had a full Aroma Complete there. I had Rainstone there. Like, I had like stuff, and nothing got damaged. And as far as that, there was glass shattering everywhere. It was just really, really bad. So bummed, but nonetheless, like, my garage is still like overtaken with vendor stuff just laid out. But I got a lot of great contacts. So I had a class on Tuesday that I was working on for forever on Savvy Minerals, and I think it went pretty well. I got a lot of great feedback from it because, again, I'm green, so I overanalyze and I over whatever. So I'm always like, I always feel like it's too long and too wordy and too much information, but I did get a lot of good feedback for that. So that was Tuesday. So after this is done, since I was prepping for this, I'm going to contact my people from my vendor event, and then I have another class that I'm writing for next Tuesday.
Good.
Yeah, staying busy. So today I'm going to talk about compensation. I don't know how familiar everybody is with a compensation plan. When I first started, I didn't really have a lot of upline support, so I had to learn a lot on my own. My husband is a general manager for Best Buy, so he's very numbers and business focused. So we had to learn how to do this, and we weren't, we built for silver. You know what I mean? Like, we built for silver, which was a terrible mistake on our end because we just didn't know correctly. So we really dived into the compensation plan. We found every video that we could, every book that we could. We read them all. And my husband actually does a compensation class. Like, so that's why, like, I was like, oh my God, like, I know a lot about the comp plan, but he's my guy. You know what I mean? So anytime I have a question, I just will message him. If it's policy or procedures or compensation, I just message my husband. But anyways, so he has like a full PowerPoint presentation that he does. That was a huge change in our business once I started teaching people the compensation plan, so then they can become like in charge of their own business, and they can decide how they were going to structure and how they were going to build their business. But we did. We doubled numbers. We were scraping by to get to, senior star, then we hit executive. We were scraping by to get to executive. We did another class. We hit silver. It was one of those things. So my question for you guys starting tonight is, how did you learn about the compensation plan? Like, what's the best way that you guys learned? Did you learn from videos? Did you learn from certain leaders? Do you not feel comfortable with the compensation plan? Do you, how do you guys learn?
I think for me, I learned from the first Lemon Dropper video, and also I studied it. Like, I kept going over it and seeing the next steps, and just as I started earning stuff, then I would look at it, see where I'm at. Like, even the Rising Star bonus, I looked at everything, like I studied over it.
Do you send your people to those same videos and those same?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And you feel confident with the compensation plan and how, like, you know enough about it to teach it type deal?
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah. I feel like I memorized it because that's the one thing that we really pay attention to, I think, So.
Okay. Anyone else?
I will say that I did the same as Gabby, where I started by watching the Lemon Dropper videos, and I've studied it, and I've seen talks at Elevate and at convention about them. But being completely honest, I'm not perfectly comfortable in explaining it to my downline, my biz people. I don't know. It's almost like I just can't find the right words to explain it. Maybe that sounds kind of lame, but it's just, that's probably one of my weak areas, if I'm being honest.
Okay. Diana, do you have any insight on the compensation?
I do. Yeah, I was waiting for that train to go by because it was so loud. This is a new adventure. So I spent hours and hours on YouTube, and I still do. Finding, I don't know why I didn't go to Lemon Dropper videos. I think I'll do that when I get back home Monday. I read about it. I watch YouTube videos over and over. But then I still, as much as I know about the compensation plan, I still don't have business builders that will get out. Everybody says, I want to do business. Nobody does. They call me up and whine. So it's like, what? So I'm doing, that suggestion, Wendy, that you gave to me about just like act like you're starting over brand new in business. That's exactly what I'm doing. Booking a whole lot of classes, a whole lot of expos, and sharing with the people that I feel like are way ahead of me as far as building businesses. So we'll see where it goes. I wouldn't mind being on that cruise to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But my upline doesn't teach a whole lot of anything. Like, I don't know. That's okay because everybody's got different personalities, but that's okay. I think all of us that have built businesses have done it because we've done it. We've went and found what we needed, and that's why I love Crossline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Wendy?
So I actually used Oh by Oils, Monique McLean's compensation plan with, I can't, blanking his name. He does oily tools.
Jake Dempsey.
Yeah. I love that. I think it's very simplistic. I love it. It's simplistic to me. It's easy, and it's easy to send people to because anybody could go to it. It's, free, and I'm not in Lemon Droppers at all, not underneath them at all, so I don't have access to that. So I love that Monique opens it up to anybody, and so that is super, super nice. And so I learned from that. I totally feel like I can teach the compensation plan. I misunderstood the compensation plan early on because my upline didn't teach it correctly to me. And until they put out those videos, which was after I had gotten in, after that, then I understood it. And so it was one of those that I was taught wrong in the beginning. And it's a little frustrating because I look back at my business and I'm like, it would have been so different, right? And so I was taught to grow wide and just, randomly if somebody pops up there, so I was 40 to 50 wide at one point in time.
Holy crap.
Think about how many people I could have stuck down. It just drives me crazy. But, it was my responsibility as a business builder too, to look at that compensation plan and truly understand it. So I can't totally blame them. I just went off of what they said. So no, I'm very adamant about teaching the right way to build this. And, people that want to do it that way, then it's great. If not, yeah.
Okay. Well, I am under Monique, and I am in the Lemon Droppers as well. When I first started, I did watch the Lemon Dropper videos, and my husband watched them, and he hated them. He was like so angry at them. He was so angry at their language and everything. And he's like, there has to be something better. There has to be something better. And then we watched Monique's videos, and he's like, this makes a little more sense or whatever. And then I forget when it was, but yeah, she did videos with Jake Dempsey and she did them on Facebook Live or whatever. And then she actually has redone her videos recently on Oh My Oils.
Yeah.
I've personally spoken to Monique about this because the Lemon Dropper videos are based off of Monique's original videos. Because when Monique grew, she hit Royal Crown Diamond in 14 months. So she wasn't thinking about Rising Star bonus and all that stuff because she hit silver so quickly it didn't matter for those things. And she since has regretted that because she built, very deep in, and a lot of times, like even in our position where we're at, you mean like you're silver, but you're thinking about gold and onwards, and we're thinking about silver, we're building our organization for that, to get there, to hit there, and to grow. But she had done that and stacked a lot of great leaders, or who she knew would be great leaders, deeper into our organization as opposed to having them up. And like one tidbit that she had taken away, in June when we talked about this, she said that like people are so into that $300 that they're not thinking down the line. And she said that one of her leaders who knew she was going to do the business, she stacked her deep to get whatever rank she was gunning for that month. She said when she flipped a rank, her check dropped by $50,000. And she said, don't get me wrong. She said, I knew what my check was going to be. She said, but those are not things I thought about when I was building those lower ranks. She's like, I wasn't thinking about the long term. And she's like, I've missed out on so much money because I strategically placed incorrectly. So those little things that you're like, holy crap. You know what I mean? Because like imagine missing out on $50,000. You got to imagine what her check actually is if she's not concerned about that. But so we're really big on teaching the compensation plan. So building wide is good, but you need to think about Rising Star bonus. So Young Living set up their compensation plan fantastically. If you look at the Rising Star bonus, it's 7 legs, it's 7 legs across. You need 6 legs for Royal Crown Diamond. That 7th leg is that cushion for your PGV, right? In a realistic, perfect world, cookie cutter shaped world, everybody says, oh, you just need 6 legs, keep it in the 6 legs. You're wasting OGV if it's outside of that. But I personally have not hit silver because I don't have the $1,000 PGV and I can't buy it. You know what I mean? Like if I was a solid silver getting an average check, or if I was gold or whatever, yes, I could easily spend $1,000. It wouldn't be an issue. And I would love to. I would love to spend $1,000 on products every month. And that's one of my goals in this business, is to be able to spend a lot more, but it doesn't work that way. So if you look at the compensation plan and you look at Rising Star bonus, how it breaks it down. If you calculate how all those legs and shares are broken up, that sets you up perfectly for executive. Your OGV is 4,000. You have the legs where you need to. And then at that point, you're growing towards your leadership roles in Young Living, which is silver and above. So I try to teach my people that, and I will tell them, and my husband says this, I will quote him. He says, silver is sexy. He's like, everybody wants silver. He's like, it looks good, it sounds good, you get prizes, you get retreats, people look at you differently. He's like, but what does it matter if you're not making, like you're making that extra, personal generation bonus and you're making whatever. He's like, but if you're maximizing the Rising Star bonus, you're getting that $300 there. So he's like, as sexy as silver, sounds, setting up a great foundation for your organization to then make more money down the line is going to be so worth it, because silver is such a small area if you're really going beyond this. There are some people who want to build for silver and gold, and that's their goal and they want to stay there, and that's fine. And that's why they need to look at it and understand what they're building for. So with that, let's see. Yeah, so Rising Star structures to maximize your check on your lower levels, and that's why when you look at the compensation plan, it's, I think, like $12,000 is like the max executive check, which is, bananas too. Let's see. So yeah, talking about, once you get to silver and you have PGV, Krishna group volume that you have to, worry about, but that's it. What's lovely about Young Living is you only have to spend 100 PV. And you will have to get your 1,000 PGV PGB, and then the rest of your legs all the way up to Royal Crown Diamond. So you could be really stingy and spend $100 on ER at Royal Crown Diamond and still get a pretty stellar check. So once you break it down and you're getting there, your Young Living, obviously they give you get retail earnings if you don't, if you have retail customers. You have your starter kit bonuses, you have fast start bonuses, you have rising star bonuses from star to executive. Then once you hit silver, you have personal generation bonus, generation bonuses, leadership bonuses. And then once you hit diamond, you have Diamond Express shares, which is like, oh, you don't make enough money here, let's throw some more at you. Young Living, thank you. And what we try to teach too with the compensation, like, because a lot of it's overwhelming, because people, when you're starting off, you're not thinking about diamond and beyond and everything, but we try to like emphasize, because a lot of women, especially like in my position, stay-at-home moms and whatever, will say are looking for income opportunities. So the fact that you can say these are all the opportunities that you can, earn this money, not only that, but it's a consumable product, it's a willable income, and then there's retreats, you know what I mean? And once you hit diamond, you get a retreat every year. You know what I mean? And I, that was one thing when I talked to Monique, she had said, she's like, because I was like, you see all these diamonds and whatever. And she said, do you know how many of those diamonds aren't actually diamonds? Once you have that title, it's yours. Yeah. So like, I'm a silver with Young Living, even though I haven't been a silver with Young Living for, almost a year, but I'm a silver with Young Living. I've earned that rank and it's mine to hold on to. I have my little precious trophy right here that I look at every day, but it's mine. But yeah, did you guys have any specific questions? I know, Rachel, you said that you don't really know. Like, I could go through what everything is and what are the breakdowns of it, but if you guys know this, I don't really want to waste your time. Does anybody have specific questions on it or anything about, personal generation bonuses, leadership bonuses, Diamond Express? Yes, no? No? Okay. Well, I talked to, since I haven't had a generation bonus in a while, the leadership bonus shares are around $140. And when you break that down, depending on, your goal is to get to silver and then to get as many silvers and golds underneath you. Like, Jill has said, Wendy, you were talking about earlier, it's not about your growth, it's about growing the people underneath you, because that's going to be substantially change your check. And then I talked to my Royal Crown Diamond today. Carol said that the Diamond Express bonuses are about $17.44 per share. So you're getting a lot of money once you're getting up there, you know what I mean? Because you have your 2.5% of your personal generation bonus, which is what the percentage of your organizational volume and everything below you that is not silver or above. Once somebody hits silver, they become their own generation and their own personal generation. So then that is deducted from it. And then you have 3% generational bonuses once those people below you hit silver and above. So, if my leg 1 is silver, my leg 2 is not, I earn 2.5% on my leg 2, 3% on my leg 1. And then those go down in like your generation levels. So I could have a level 6 hit silver. If that's my first person hitting silver, then that's my second generation, because my first generation is my personal generation. And then with leadership bonuses, it's the same thing like with the generations, so silver earns 1 bonus, and that's the $140 you earn on yourself, and then again every silver underneath you, and then 2 for platinum, or 2 for gold, 3 for platinum, 4 for diamond, 5 for Crown Diamond, and 6 for Royal Crown Diamond. The Diamond Express, that's 0.5% of the monthly commissionable sales for Young Living. And like I said, Carol says that 1 share of that, it has been typically around $17.50. And, the catch with that is, as a diamond, you need to do certain things. You need to go to convention. You need to go to a harvest. You need to do X amount of speaking engagements, 1 international and X amount nationally, which it's like you have to write off business expenses to travel. So what a tough job to do. But yeah, it's fantastic when we've discussed this with our team. And like I said, my husband has a whole PowerPoint and he breaks it down. He's much better at it than I am. He breaks it down. But once people really understand what the opportunity is here and like how it's not just leggings and it's not, you know, just mascara or just whatever these multi-level marketing companies, jewelry, like that, those aren't consumable products. You know what I mean? Like I love LuLaRoe and I have a bajillion leggings, but I haven't bought leggings in well over a year because I still have that product and I don't need it. But there's never going to be a day in my life that I'm without Thieves or Lavender or shampoo or whatever it is. Once you're teaching the benefits of the products, and that's what I did with my makeup class. I introduced it talking about what the problem with cosmetics in the US was. It wasn't like, oh, here's some toxic-free makeup. People, they don't understand why they need the makeup. So once you tell them like there's laws that are protecting these companies for basically poisoning you, then they're like, holy crap, let me open my eyes to this. And people who I didn't think were going to be interested in the makeup were like, I want to order all of this. Mm-hmm. So you're having to educate on the products, not only from the standpoint of it's a fantastic company, you know what I mean? Like we have our Seed to Seal pillars and everything that's just wonderful about Young Living and how transparent they are. But once you really teach that, and people are falling in love with the products, Essential Rewards is so easy after that. And then once they're easily sharing, I have gotten so many business people just because of the classes that I'm teaching. And then once people understand the residual income that comes with it, like hands down, it is, you know, but it's really changed in my business. I don't know how you guys are with teaching your people, because I have a lot of people who aren't really in it right now. They're like kind of whatever. But I was looking over this today, and I was watching some videos and listening to some stuff and going through our notes because we have a whole business binder. And it just like really like inspired me again to be like, I just need to teach this class again. But does anybody have any questions? I could talk about other things, but I feel like this is, you know.
I do. So if you get passed up, so say I sit at silver and I have a gold underneath me, I pass up that share, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you only earn as much as you are. So if you would earn one on that, and then once you hit gold, then you would earn another one on that.
Right.
I know a lot of people, because they were structured for silver, that they have, you know, people, you know, I know of silver that has diamonds, you know, below her or whatever. And she's like, oh, I make a really good silver check. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. She's like, except I'm missing out on all those shares and I'm missing out on, and I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, that would make my stomach hurt every month, you know what I mean? But it's just how it is. But that's, you know, when people, if you ever do encounter people that say, you know, this is a pyramid scheme or whatever, you can say like, no, it's absolutely not. Because there's people that are above, you know, Monique, that are not diamonds. You know what I mean? It's a wonderful, like, you work this business. It's all yours. So, and you know, I was the same place as you, Wendy, that I was super frustrated when I was like, I learned incorrectly. And this is not taught right, because building to silver they built it exactly for silver and six. And if you look at some of the things that they do, you know, in the lemon droppers or whatever, they'll be like, well, if you get your 6 people to silver and they get their 6 people to silver and they get their 6 people to silver, and however deep it goes, that's like the max, you know, the 7 levels or whatever it is. The paycheck on that is like unimaginable what that would be. And I think in their heads, they were thinking, like, well, let's get everybody to silver because then I'll make more money.
Right.
And, you know, so then you're just kind of like, well, this doesn't help, especially if you don't have a social media following, if you're just, you know, a stay-at-home mom that literally has to go find, you know, cold contacts at the grocery store, you know what I mean? Like, you have to do what you have to do. So if you're not a big kit seller, I always recommend building wide, because then it will, you know, snowball at that fact, you know, and you might take longer to get to those ranks, but if you're making more money along the way, then it doesn't really matter.
That is one thing. You know, I like I said, I was really, really wide. I've never had to worry about the 1,000 PV on the side. I've never had to worry about, you know, the extra. I've always had to kind of try to figure out who the business builders were going to be, or who to put people underneath. And that, I mean, that wasn't as hard as trying to get somebody in those legs, those positions. So actually what I teach, and you were talking about 7, I usually teach 10. 10 people wide. And the reason I do is because I've had 3 and 4 legs have issues, life issues. One got sick, one had surgery, one had, kid problems, and so those 3 legs I needed to sit those to the side for a little while and go work over here. And so it gave me people to work with, versus going, come on, do something. I was able to work in depth in those legs, but there wasn't a lot of business builders at the time in depth. So it allowed me to shift over because there was enough other people that I could work with that kind of helped. I wasn't like going, okay, I'm twiddling my thumbs and driving those people crazy when they're already going through life issues. So I usually, this is just me, because then also, not everybody of those, that 1,000 PV order all the time. They're kind of in and out of those other 3 legs. And so I usually, and this is just me, that's just me, it's kind of my cushion of having an extra 3 legs, that I can work with somewhere outside of that quote unquote diamond shift, kind of a thing. So.
And do those people, when life happens, do they stop ordering?
They don't stop ordering, but mine were all business builders. So literally all at the same time, all my business, major business builders had life issues. And so I was able to shift over and start working somewhere else. And I was able to build another leg during the time those people just needed to take a break. And so, it slowed my business down for a little while, but at the same time, now that they're coming back, it's better than it was before. So.
And how many legs, so do you have 10 solid legs building down?
No, I have 5 solid legs that are building now, looking for 3 more. But I have potential people that are just haven't gotten started yet, but I'm plenty wide where I could work somewhere in there. And I've got some people that they're getting going. Does that make sense? So it's one of those that it just takes time. So when somebody decides to say, hey, I'm good, I've got this business, I'm like, all right, I'll let you run with it. I can work in depth with them, but then I can also work over here on the other side, so it's, I appreciate the 7 legs, but that's just right at RDC. So I would rather have that extra little cushion. And so I teach my group about 10. I try to get 10 wide and see, who you can identify to be able to be working with. Not right now. Go. Bed. Go. Sorry.
No, you're fine. That's
just likes to be on screen, and so she does that, and I'm just like, oh, it makes me so mad.
That's funny. Yeah, the 7, I just, in my mindset, I wouldn't see why if you have people that are committed to the business, why you couldn't just stack underneath those and just have that OGB growth in there. And then I forget what the statistic was. Eric Story had said it, but within the first 90 days, if people earn $1, they're 82% more committed to continue going versus that they don't. So it's really important that when business people start off, if you can stack them immediately so they're getting something, because then they see it as oh, this is real, I can make money off of this.
Yeah. Everybody has their different philosophies. It's just what I've seen, not only in this business, but other businesses, other MLMs, that I just don't want to put all my eggs in the 7 baskets. And then RDC, something happens in that one leg that I'm at RDC, and then losing RDC because I didn't have another leg outside of that. Does that make sense?
Well, if that top person didn't order, it would compress. There's compression happens, so there's that. But yeah, I understand the whole.
Yeah, I've seen people lose entire legs before, and they're sitting at diamond, and it's gone. So it's one of those that I just love to I love to hedge my bets. So yeah, but everybody can build it differently and do it, and build it, 7. You could even do an 8th leg, after you get your 7, your RDC. I mean, even why do I blank names? I hate that. The guy in Canada.
Adam Green.
Adam Green. He talks about that all the time. He's like, I sponsor people all the time. And he has other legs outside of his RDC too. Okay. So Yeah.
Well, even, yeah, he just signed up Richard Brooke Bliss, and they had Diamond the same month. So I had said too, I'm like, he's Royal Crown Diamond. Where the heck did he put him? You mean, because obviously he would help somebody's organization substantially, or put him on the outside, because they have, they're young, they have their family to think about. And, I don't know if any of you guys have thought about ghost legs or any of like that for your children, or how, that you want to keep them. Like, I've talked to Carol about it, because she's, doing that. Like, her mother-in-law has an account and her mother has an account, so like they're going to will them to her kids, so their kids have more established accounts until later down the road type deal. But yeah, you have to think about that as well. You'd want to keep them up as close as possible to be earning the most amount of money on those, because obviously if you're thinking about your kids, the willable income is fantastic, but until your kid, until you can die and give them willable income, I'm young, so I hope that I live a very long time, and I hope that my kids will do this business with me eventually, that we don't have to
Yep.
That's a whole other story there.
Yep. No, it's absolutely, it's absolutely a great, because I have teenagers, and so I'm looking at, my dad's underneath me, and so I'm looking at putting him in there, and then just when he'll will it to my kids, which is right underneath their uncle. So it's just one of those that I'm like, this is perfect. I'm just going to get a family leg going, and so that I can will it to them once they get started. So, well, good. It's absolutely, like you said, it's absolutely necessary to understand the compensation plan. It's absolutely necessary to understand where to place people. And I think that's one of the hardest things for people new in this business to be able to understand. Do you have an easy way just to be able to, different personalities? So you're green, you love the details in it. Or do you have easy ways for the people who are like myself that are reds that said, okay, so this is strategically, this is where I would do it. I would get, I would look at the rising star and just pattern after a rising star. How do you come against like a red or somebody like that doesn't need all the details right away?
Like, for just telling them where to stack, basically, like if they ask. Obviously every situation depends. I personally don't stack unless the conversation's had and those people are absolutely committed to the 100 PV on ER, because like everybody says, oh, as long as you spend $100 you get full commissions. No, with everything you need 100 PV on ER. And I tell them the opportunities of the business, even if it is a ghost leg or initially starts out as it. So I wouldn't stack anybody before that. I know a lot of people do that otherwise, and they're like, oh, I'm not sure. And I'm like, no, I need to have this person's word, because I don't want to have to think about compression and think about, roll up and stuff. But it's just different with every person. I tell people that they need to know what they want. Like, look at the compensation plan and what amount of money is going to make a difference to you right away. Because like for me, my short-term goal is gold, because that's something that amount of money is substantial to change what's going on in my life. A lot of people will say silver is their short term and they want to stay there for a while. If I hit gold and I'm there for a couple of years, like that wouldn't bother me. It would, but it wouldn't bother me. But so I tell them to look for that and then start going for their short-term goal first. So say if it is silver, I would say, stack within those 2 legs and then, start building your third. So you have your PGB and then you could go on from there. If they're saying like, oh, I'm doing Royal Crown Diamond, I say, okay, then stack wide, pick your 7 legs and then start stacking. Because I've had several people, especially in my first leg, that went business, months later after the fact, and they'd already signed up somebody, so it was like going to be complicated to move them. So I have really uneven legs and really uneven organizations, but I'm like, it's in God's hands. I can't do anything about it now. I could, but it would be too complicated and it's not worth the hassle for me. But I look at that, like, like with you, you're obviously your next goal is gold. So, to just, that's what you're focusing on. And if you're focusing on your people too, that's what I've been trying to do, because I have a lot of people who aren't in it right now. So I'm like, well, whoever's in it, that's who I'm focusing on right now, to build them. So when they're growing, obviously I'm growing, but if I'm focusing all my attention on them, I'm not stressed about the fact that, I need like 1,000 OGB this month to hit silver. And it's like driving me crazy.
Yeah, you were talking about legs, and I think that's, that's always in the back of my mind, that I need more business builder legs. I have places to put them, but it's finding that 100 PV ER person that is willing to work and, and identify them. And it's one of those things that I was like, okay, I need them. They're going to be there. I'm going to have to figure out where to strategically start placing new people that I meet, in those legs. But my main focus, like you said, is more of the 3 legs that are growing, and being able to really harness the people underneath them and help them, get to senior star. How is their wording? How is their, development of themselves, to be able to, because it's not just about me putting people underneath them. It's about developing the person to be able to have the confidence to talk to somebody, to be able to show a class, to be able to do a vendor event, I have people that can do vendor events all day, but to transfer them to a business builder is really, really tough, to be able to transfer them their speech and to be able to have them have the confidence. I just had one come on today, like, I don't know how to, like, I don't feel comfortable just coming up to somebody at Chick-fil-A and just start talking to them. And for me, I'm like, well, that's easy, but so many people, everybody's personality is different, right? And so I was like, it just kind of keeps clicking to me, like, okay, I need to help people work through these skills and get over, I do scary things, right? Get through these fears, because it's not that people can't do that stuff, it's that they're scared to. They don't feel like they know how. And so you give them tools to be able to come through that. And that's one of the things that I've kind of gone back to the basics in my group and gone back into those people and say, okay, I hear you. I hear you're scared. What are some phrases that would work for you to be able to sit next to somebody at a park and just drum up a conversation? Start practicing and then come back to me and talk about what you said, like with Rachel. How did you say that? How did you end that conversation? Well, we tried 3 dates and it didn't work, and so she's going to get back to me. Okay, how about if you said, let's just get it in the calendar, and if it doesn't work, you can call me. So there's a different posturing in that, right? Really simple wording, but completely different posturing in how you do that. So for me, that's what I really kind of started focusing on. Man, I keep thinking about those other legs that I need to develop and where I'm going to put people and stuff, but it's both and. And so yeah, like you're talking about the focus, the focus is, okay, you need to get that 1,000 OGV, to be able to maintain silver. That would be a little bit of a focus. I need to get another leg going outside of my silver group instead of stacking it to silver, helping somebody downline getting to 2,000 PV or 2,500 PV, but then also working on this other maybe 2 legs that are just getting started. They're at 500 PV each, getting to them to star, because then that covers my OGV that I need, for maintaining the silver. But you're also getting them to star, then you're going to start teaching them to get people underneath them that get to star. And so sometimes it's not always working that rising star bonus, right? It's also, it's working the rising star bonus, but maybe piecemealing it together, because some of us, like myself, were taught wrong in the beginning. So, yeah.
I think a good point too, as well, is to be the leader you wish you had. When you were, because when I was first starting, since I knew nothing, if I had somebody that like took me under their wing and was like, hey, I see you, I hear you, I see your posts, I see that you're trying to do classes, what can I do to help you? Or, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's not about stacks, but it's about just being there, you know what I mean? And I always tell like my group, I have, quite a few of ladies around here, and I'll host like local events where people will just stop by because they need help with something, and I'm like, I'm here during the day, you're more than welcome to. So people will randomly pop in, messy house, me looking like this in my pajamas or whatever, and I'm like, I wish I had that, so I'm going to be that type of leader. And I can't always be like that, you know what I mean? There's going to be a point in my business where I have too many people and too much stuff going on. But while I have the opportunity to do that, yeah, let's, focus that energy and attention on those people, because, they're, that little bit of them making a little money is huge on what their outcome and how they're going to be down the line. You don't want to be so focused on what your goals are and what your rank advancements are that you're not seeing everybody else, and those people may not continue just because of your lack of effort at the beginning to introduce them into an entire new world, an entire new product, an entire new company and business. It is complicated when you look at it or whatever, because like to me it's like, oh yeah, well this is this and this is this, and you understand the compensation plan, but then when you like break it down, you're like, there's lots of working parts to it. But that's a good thing, because that means Young Living is compensating you for so many things, that you got to be grateful for it.
Well, and it's a nice diagram in a perfect world.
Yeah.
And then you start talking to people, and some people don't work out, right? They don't, their first line isn't going to be a business builder. And so you work 3 levels deep and you find a business builder there. And, so it's always this, it's like an art and a science together. When I was going to PT school, that was huge, that, it's science, but it's also dealing with people. So therefore it's an art, and so no one business is going to look the same as another business, and we wish we could have done this and we wish we would have done that. But, as long as you're working with those business builders and teaching the compensation plan, helping them with their verbiage, helping them grow, I think the biggest thing that I'm finding is so many people have to step out in their own abilities, that it's so scary that as leaders, we really need to encourage them to keep doing those scary things. And sometimes it's tough love. Like, I'm not going to handhold you in this, and you're going to do it, and you're going to be fine. And, try this. How did that work? Personality differences, that's tough too. Wait till you get, an opposite personality of yours, and they're like, oh, I'm not doing it your way. Okay, sounds good. There's leaders outside of me, then, you have to shuttle them. So, yeah.
That's what I say to my team all the time. Like, there's a saying that says, like, there's so many business groups, in our team, and it's so great because you have all that information, but every group is not for everybody. Every leader is not for everybody. So I say, as much as you need to dig down in your downline, also reach out. I may not be the leader for you, and I may not work well personality wise. And I said, that's okay, because it's your business and you need to do what's best for you. So if you need to go above me, you need to go cross line, wherever you need to go to find what you're looking for, then do that. I'm not going to be offended by it, because there's been several times that, the leaders that I go to aren't directly above me. I go sometimes at 4, 5, 6, 10 levels to get what I need to. And that's, that's what I do. I know other people will be like, well, this is my enroller, and I need to ask them. And it's like, well, sometimes that doesn't work.
It doesn't work out as well. Yeah. Gabrielle, do you have any comments or questions for Alyssa?
I actually heard that there was a limit to how long you can earn Rising Star. Something like 2 years. Is that true?
It's 24 months from the first time you earn it.
Okay.
So from the first time you earn it, 24 months. And say, for example, like, when you hit silver, if you were to fall back, you still qualify for that Rising Star bonus as long as it's within that time period. No. So I don't know how you find out when you first, I think you would basically have to, like, go back on your checks and just see. And the virtual office, I didn't know this until recently, but your checks are broken down. If you click on your commissions and click on your checks, you could look to see exactly where your money is coming from what level, from what people even. So you could tailor where your money's coming from. But yeah, Rising Star would be on there if you needed to check back to when you first earned it.
Good question. All right, well, it is 9 o'clock. I know a lot of people have a lot of stuff going on. So packing for some people, and vendor events and other things like that. So I'm going to cut it off here, but Alyssa, you did a wonderful job. Thank you for explaining it. I think it's always good to revisit the compensation plan. It's amazing, different businesses and how they work, and how people's mindset of, the compensation plan and understanding it. It's crazy how many people in my business, you'll explain it and they're still like, what? I don't quite get it. It's like just the circles, So it's really fun. And I love to hear other people's way of explaining the compensation plan, because I think it is really good, just different points of view, just the same thing we were talking about personality wise and stuff like that. So thank you very much. Thank you. Guys, let us know, chitter chatter on, Diamond Destiny, that information. Just, hey, I've got this going on. Do you guys have any suggestions? Or, hey, I had success. I mean, this was awesome. This happened. And so I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. I know myself, I've got it, we're running our groups and everything else. It's like one more thing, but we want to celebrate with you guys. We're here to support you as leaders. All of us are leaders, and so we want to support you guys. And, if you're frustrated with something, this is a place to come to, because all of us have been there, done that, or would learn from it too. I think one of the things is our challenges we always get to learn from. So I know that myself included, I haven't been as chitter-chatty this week. It's been a little crazy. But I would love if you guys have comments and want to start some threads. I'd love it. So, and then also we can kind of keep tabs on Anita and make sure she's doing all right. So,
For sure.
all right. Well,
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions or anything else? All right, guys. Have a
Enjoy
great
Shine.
weekend. Yeah. Have a great weekend. And we'll make sure and post, if anybody's there at Shine, make sure and come and give me a great big hug. And if not, then we'll be posting stuff. And you guys, I'd love to hear your comments, and we'll make sure we relay everything back or post it. We'll post it on Grow too, make sure everybody sees everything. So, all right. All right. Have a great night, guys.
You too.
Me
Thanks.
too. See ya.
See ya.